Hello, everybody, and welcome back to this channel. I'm very excited to have a very cool tool for you guys today. And with me is Daniel, CEO from Fluvi, who has brought a super exciting AI assistant tool with us for you. And yeah, welcome aboard, Daniel.
Thank you, David. Lovely to be here and addressing your audience. Thank you for giving us the chance.
Of course, and just to get you pumped, let's get you the Amazon Tools League intro. All right, I hope that got everybody pumped as usual. So yeah, one fascinating AI tool for you guys today. But before we talk about it, let's just maybe hear a little bit about you. Daniel, where are you from? What brought you to Fluvi? What made you build Fluvi? Let us know.
All right. So my name is Daniel. I'm from Sweden. I've been an Amazon seller since 2014. Used to do that for nearly 10 years. Stopped selling in about 2021. Had a pretty much a roller coaster ride with Amazon. Some years were absolutely fantastic. Some years were horrible, as always. And then about 2 years ago, we decided with my other co-founder, Eric, to build this tool, this analytics tool for Amazon sellers. Given our background in the business, both me and him being Amazon sellers, having large networks, knowing lots of people and friends who are still active Amazon sellers, we thought that we could build something that that gets people excited and hopefully fill a hole in the market. And that's kind of where we are now. We've been developing this tool for 2-3 years. Fluvi, at its core, it's an analytics tool with profit, sales, cost tracking, inventory, ads, that kind of stuff. And now we're adding a bunch of more cool and unique features on top of the solid base that we have with all these general features that everybody needs.
Sweet. Yeah, sounds good. Sounds like the perfect reason to start a tool to actually use it yourself. So yeah, do you want to show us that cool AI chat assistant that I really liked when you showed me like last week? And yeah, I haven't seen anything like it, so excited to show it to you guys.
We'd love to, David. All right, so I'll go ahead and share my screen then. Let's see if we can make this work.
Let's do it.
There we are. Share screen. So just to give a little bit of background to your audience, we're calling this one feature Fluvi Assistant or Fluvi AI Assistant. And it's essentially a semi-automatic email responding tool. So it's a Chrome plugin. So once you have your Fluvi account set up, you go to Tools Assistant, you get to this page. It will be blank for new users. And then you hit Download Plugin. You'll be taken to the Chrome store. And assuming that you don't have it installed, you'll have a little Add to Chrome icon here. Once you add it, it pops up over here, or perhaps in your extensions, and then you need to pin it. And then you have it in your extensions bar. You have to log in with your Fluvi account. And assuming you've done all that, then you'll see a little AI response button appear in your Seller Central buyer seller messaging page. So you simply go to buyer seller messages, load a message, and the button will appear at the bottom. And this is where the magic happens. So if you have emails from customers, we're taking this one from Kenny. Kenny's asking how long does it take to ship the item. By the way, David, can you see this clearly, or should I zoom in a little bit?
Yeah, I can see it.
All right. Excellent. So Kenny asked us a question, how long does it take to ship the item? And if I click the AI response button, in about 5 seconds, it will generate an email suggestion that is pretty much, in most cases, ready to be sent as it is.
Very cool. How does it know that content? Where does it take that from?
Right. So the plugin is based on OpenAI ChatGPT. It will make general assumptions, but the cool thing is that in Fluvi, you can actually add very specific instructions, and then you can make it as specific as you like to. So in this case, it's a fairly general question about the shipping time for the items being sold by this seller. So if I go over to Fluvi again, and let's try to add instructions now to instruct the tool how to reply to these type of questions. So again, its general reply was that it would take 3 to 5 business days to ship the item. But we know that for Prime members, Amazon ships the item within 24 hours. So again, if we go back to Fluvi and add these instructions, I can either select one specific ASIN that this should apply to, or if I leave it blank, it will be applied to all. So if I just type shipping policy, all FBA items will ship within 24 hours. Let's hit save. We've added that as an instructions. And since I didn't choose any ASINs, it will be applied to all. I'm going to delete this message, click AI response again. And let's see what it comes up with. So again, it thanks Kenny for the question. Thank you for reaching out. And then it tells Kenny that all FBA items will ship within 24 hours after the order is placed. You receive the notifications once your order is shipped. And also ends with a nice little greeting. If you have any further questions, feel free to ask. And then we have a sign off.
Yeah, so clearly it works very quickly as well. I mean, this was live, right?
Yep, for sure. And I mean, I can make these changes as I please. If we could change this to, let's say, 36 hours, and that will be saved and then utilized immediately. So if you create a new message, it should then say 36.
1 second, that's my dog just making some trouble. 1 second.
Yeah. That's all right, David. Maybe we
bark
can
during
bring her live.
We do not bark during interviews, okay? Okay. We can continue, I guess.
Excellent. Hopefully she's happy and satisfied with the little snack.
Yeah, I hope so. So she wants to know, who is this for? Perhaps for pet category sellers, or what other categories would you say?
I mean, So when I used to sell on Amazon, towards the end when it went well for me, I used to have 50 to 60 emails in Seller Central every day. So I would say that this tool works for every seller, but it comes particularly in handy the more emails that you deal with. And I should say that this tool also works in Gmail. So if you answer your Seller Central emails in Gmail, that's fine too. But then we can't really associate any ASIN to that Gmail message in Amazon. When you receive a message, typically there's an ASIN associated with that message, and that's why we can make this this connection. But in Gmail, we don't get that information. The tool will still work in Gmail. It will create a reply, but it won't utilize the instructions that you've assigned for specific ASINs.
Nice.
But again, to really highlight it, it really works for all sellers. It's really up to the seller how much time they spend on emails, and if they feel that they are spending too much time on emails, this tool can greatly speed up the email handling and the productivity. And I should also say that with this tool, say that you're an Amazon seller with a team, you have a couple of customer support representatives in your team. I noticed from our own experience that all my customer support representatives, they had their own language when they wrote messages, right? They all wrote in English, of course, but they all had their little touches to their emails. So that could be nice. But if you feel that you want a more cohesive tone throughout your brand, then this tool will write pretty much the same out. It will give the same output for all your users. I also noticed that sometimes when one of my custom support representatives used to type emails, they sometimes didn't do a capital letter for names. They would just write Benjamin with a lowercase letter. And I always thought that looked a little bit shabby.
Unprofessional, yeah.
Yeah. So, I mean, obviously she improved as time went on, but with the tools like this, the grammar is perfect. The paragraphing looks good. Capitalization is never an issue.
I'm actually surprised about the paragraphing, because that's always been an issue for me with GPT. Like, it's just one long text.
Yep. So we do have a custom prompt. So it's not just a copy paste from ChatGPT. We actually tailor the prompt in a way to make the paragraphing ideal to customer support messages. We also ask we also prompt it to have that in mind, to have a customer service mindset when generating the responses. That's kind of tool works. I just want to show you a few more messages just to give you an idea of really the full potential of this tool. So not only will it again generate emails from scratch and also based on instructions, but it will also answer in any language. So here we have a message from a Spanish customer. This customer is asking how large the pills are. Again, the product that she's inquiring about is a supplement. It's a small capsule pills. So she's asking how large the pills are because she has difficulty swallowing larger pills. So if we hit AI response, the tool will generate a response in Spanish in the customer's native language and also offer us a translation down here on the info icon. So as we can see here, it's writing, "Hello, Dinda," the customer's name. "Thank you for inquiry. The pills are about 1/2 an inch in size. And I hope this information is helpful to you. If you have more questions or need more information, feel free to contact us." So it works in any language. If you're a seller selling in, let's say, all of Europe, Germany, Italy, Spain, France, it's nearly impossible to know all these languages, and it could be a hassle to find customer support representatives for single marketplaces. So again, with this tool, that part of your job is fairly seamless, and you can again create as many emails as you want in a couple of seconds.
Yeah, so wait, it can answer in other languages? Did I hear that correctly?
Correct.
Yeah, sweet.
Yeah. So again, a customer's message is in Spanish. If I hit AI response, the message that is generated is also in Spanish. And then again, if you hover over the info icon, you see the English translation. So you actually know what you're replying to your customer. You're not just making a guess.
But would you have to also do the instructions in Fluvi in Spanish, or does it somehow?
Excellent question. Excellent question. So let's give it a try. So I'm translating the customer's message to English here just to make it clear for everybody. So again, the question is, how big are these pills? Sometimes I have difficulty swallowing large pills. So if we go over to Fluvi, if I hit create instructions, I'm going to grab the ASIN first. So here it's a specific product that this customer is inquiring about. If I grab the ASIN, add it here, select the ASIN, add a title. I'm going to write in English because that's the language I know best. So size of pills. Each pill is 1/2 an inch in size. So we'll save this. We see that the instructions have been added. We see the ASIN that is linked to them. And again, if we try to generate, by the way, first I'll just show this is the message that was generated just before. I think I actually added those instructions. You know what? Let me remove these. So yeah, apologies about that. So we'll remove the instructions related to pill size. And if I don't have any instructions related to pill size, it will make its best guess. So here it says 1.5 centimeters long. Again, it's just making its best guess. Yeah. But then if we do add the instructions, we're going to grab the ASIN again, create instructions, add ASIN, select ASIN.
I'm still amazed at how quickly that transfers over.
Lovely. Yeah, speed is important. Amazing. We don't want to sit around waiting on loading times. Each pill is 1/2 an inch in size. So adding instructions, saving them. We've seen that they've been added here. And I'm going to try to generate a new message. Again, this message said 1.5 centimeters. So we're going to delete this, hit AI response. And again, mind you that I wrote the instructions in English, but it's understanding the English instructions and translating them to Spanish when replying to the customer. So down here we see down here we see the English translation, and again, about 1/2 an inch in size. There we are. Each pill is 1/2 an inch in size, just as I instructed it.
Yeah, so I mean, I would have said in the beginning, it's like mainly for people with complex products or a lot of products and they get a lot of messages because of that they cannot handle, or for people that have a lot of listings and they're just not optimized yet, and so they get a lot of questions because of that. But it seems really it's pretty much for everybody if they're selling on multiple marketplaces, because almost nobody has like a support person for every language, or at least
Yep.
if they're not too big.
For sure.
So
For sure. I mean, the teams I talked to, they used to use Google Translate for this. And Google Translate, I mean, it's a great tool, but it's not perfect, especially not when it comes to grammar. And it also has difficulty understanding local sort of phrases or local expressions. Whereas this tool, again, is much better at that. I'm not going to say it's perfect. You do want to read the translation to make sure that the message is in line with what you want to say. But I would say that 9 out of 10 times, the messages either with some instructions or with no instructions are good to be sent as they are, with no edit required by the user.
yeah, and the 10th time you can still adapt it and you can still update the instructions for later on. So
for sure. Yeah. So you always see the message here before it sends it. The tool never sends the message automatically. You always have the chance to, again, edit it as you please. And you always see the translation. And as you said, David, you can just add as many instructions as you want here in Fluvi.
Perfect. Yeah, I mean, that to me sounds like a real game changer in terms of client communication. So, like I said, not seen anything like it out there. So, yeah.
For
Is
sure.
there anything else you wanted to mention about the AI assistant?
I'll just show one more example so that, again, to show the full power of the tool. So here we have a longer conversation with a customer. It's actually me sending emails to Eric, our other co-founder. So here I've been having sort of a conversation with him. And even with plenty of messages in the conversation, the tool will be able to read everything and understand what it needs to answer. It will look primarily at the last message, but it will also take everything else into consideration when generating the replies. So again, in this case, a fairly specific message or question. So it says, for how long after opening the container are these caffeine pills good for? And again, this is such a specific question that the tool would have no way of knowing the answer without instructions. But if we hop over to Fluvi, I've added instructions about shelf life. So an open container is good for 72 days after opening. So this is just a made up example, of course, just to, again, show the level of detail. So again, 72 days is the key number here, hitting AI response. And again, within a few seconds, a reply will come up with the content saying that 72 days is the best window of when the pills should be consumed after opening.
Sweet. I mean, I can also imagine that you probably haven't done any like long-term studies about this because you're fairly new, but I would imagine this will also improve like the general ratings of all products, because customers are more happy getting answers quickly, more accurate answers more quickly. So it can only be good for the ratings, right?
For sure. So, I mean, I think that's also something that sellers could overlook. The happier, the more satisfied a customer is, the more likely he or she is to come back and buy more from you, or even leave a positive review. And again, it's these small details that just being answering questions quickly, giving the customer the resolution that they expect, or even go above and beyond. Those are little things that really make a customer stay with your brand and purchase from you time and time again.
Yeah, sweet. So, is there any other part of the tool that you'd like to show us today? I know I've also seen the inventory part, which also is very nice to me. It's not as unique as this, because this really is quite unique, but it is nonetheless very nice. Do you want to shall we have a look at that?
Of course, sure, David. So I'll just say one more thing about AI systems before we move on to inventory. And this is just sort of housekeeping rules. So for AI system to work, you need Fluvi credits. You'll automatically get Fluvi credits with your membership in Fluvi. So even trial users get, I think, 30 credits. Every generated email will consume 1 credit. But again, you get free credits with your monthly subscription. Depending on your subscription, you get more or less. But the idea is that the free credits you get should be enough to cover you throughout the month, even if you're a fairly heavy email user or get a fairly large number of emails. But again, do mind the credits. They show up in the extension, and they also show up in Fluvi in your billing sections. If you go to settings, the billing, this is where you see your Fluvi credits. But again, for the typical user, there's no need to purchase extra. The free monthly credits are enough to cover your assistant needs, so to speak.
Yeah, good to know. I guess it is just a necessary evil because AI is not free, right? GPT is not free. So you need to have some kind of upper limit.
Indeed. But again, so I think we're including 300 credits for sellers generating up to $75,000 in monthly revenue. So that's essentially 10 emails a day, which is plenty for most sellers. And for larger accounts above 75K revenue a month, we're including 3,000 credits. So you can essentially have 100 emails every day of the month, and you still wouldn't run out of credits, or well, you would run out at the last day of the month. But point is that the included credits should be enough to cover your emailing needs.
Perfect.
Yep. Right, Davis, you also mentioned the inventory tool. Thank you for the little segue. And this is, again, the inventory tool in Fluvi. So this account only has 4 products, which makes it easy to manage. And on the inventory page here, we pull all this data from Amazon FBA. So this is nothing you need to worry about or input manually. And then in the timeline up above, each of these dots represents one product. The larger the dot, the higher the sales velocity, the more units you sell every day. And then the closer these dots move to the dotted line, lots of dots here, the closer you are to having to replenish your products. So again, if you have plenty of stock, the dot would be over here, and then it moves slightly to the left for every unit that's been sold. And once you're getting close to the line, they will eventually turn yellow and then red. So green indicates that all is well. Blue indicates that sometimes within the next 14 to 30 days, you need to replenish. And then when the dot turns yellow over here, it tells you that within 40 days, you need to replenish your inventory. So for large accounts with plenty of products, this gives a nice visual of how you're doing related to your inventory levels. And Fluvi also takes into account if you have units being produced or units inbound. So if you have shipments to inbound into FBA, Fluvi will calculate that, take that into consideration when it's doing its forecasting. But again, a neat little tool to give you a visual of when you need to restock. And again, the more products you have, the more difficult that is to manage. That's why we lay it out like this.
Very cool. Very cool. Anything else you'd like to show us from Fluvi?
Well, perhaps the shipments table. I think this is also fairly unique. I know some other tools are doing this, but they usually just have a text list. We try to build it little bit more visual. So similarly here, the today's date is here in the middle. There's no line here, but it says 13th of November down there. So this is today's date. All the boxes here represents shipments. So the boxes that are to the left of today's date, they have been delivered or at least arrived to Amazon. And anything that would be to the right are shipments that are in progress, that are being shipped to Amazon. So in Eric's case, most of the boxes are to left, or all of the boxes are to left. So we're simply seeing that they are in transit or they haven't been closed yet. These two are being received by Amazon, which is why they're still active in this little timeline. So if we click on a box, we see a little bit more shipping details. We see the FBA ID, we see the status, we see where it's being shipped from, where it's heading, and also the items included in the shipment. I recall when I used to sell, I used to have, I think, probably 10 shipments active at any given time, and then also a bunch of shipments that are yet to be received. So having them visually shown like this would have been of great help to me to just be able to make sense of where my products are. So again, this little visual timeline, the more shipments you have, the more helpful this is, I think. And further down below, you have a list of all your shipments with status, whether it's closed, receiving, inbound, and also tracking, assuming the tracking information has been added. So you can at any point in time go back here and look up any previously sent shipments to make sure it's arrived correctly. Or if there's any issue, you can get information for it here and then troubleshoot or investigate as you see fit. But again, the tool itself, or the feature itself, is a visual representation of all your shipments. And if you're selling in multiple marketplaces, Eric is only selling in US, you would have all the different marketplace flags here. So you can easily switch between the marketplaces to make sense of your shipments. Yep.
Sweet.
Yep. And perhaps I'll just mention that Fluvi is pretty much an all-in-one tool, you could say. It does analytics, sales tracking, profit tracking, cost tracking, has a bunch of different data points. You can group by parent or by ASIN or by region. So again, Eric is only selling in US, but assuming he would be selling in other marketplaces, he would have a long list of them over here and also different regions. So again, profit, sales tracking, we show orders, returns data. Eric has almost no returns, incredible, limited information here to work on. But again, returns tracking, bunch of different stats when it comes to returns. Chronologically, returns are summarized per ASIN. Bunch of other stats like advertisement tracking, inventory spoke about, external warehouses, supplier, batches of purchase orders, shipments, and then tools like seller feedback and product review request, task management tool, documentation tool, text generating tool, and then finally assistant that we spoke about before. So that would be Fluvi in short.
Sweet. Yeah, some very nice add-ons, or it's unclear which is the add-on, but to me, the AI assistant really is the big thing. And yeah, those are all certainly also nice to see. So great stuff.
Yep. Perhaps also worth mentioning that once you've logged in and your data is loaded, which takes a few seconds, once you move around in Fluvi, everything is virtually instant. So there's no lag or time delay when you try to load different data sets. It's really, whatever time date range you select, it pretty much pops up instantly, which again, to me, is just a fantastic little user experience.
Like that. I rarely see it as quickly as that.
Yep. Yep. The larger the account,
now you're getting
perhaps,
the hopes up of all the big sellers who are struggling with all the other tools.
We actually do have a user that sells for about $1 million every month, and they have, I think, 200 SKUs. And even for them, it might be just a few more milliseconds more slower, but even for them, it's incredibly quick. So again, we do the data loading up on login. So then you might have to wait a few seconds, but once you've logged in and your data is loaded, from there on, everything is super quick.
Sweet. Well, thanks a lot for showing us Fluvi. Is there any future updates we can perhaps look forward to right after I get my dog calm again?
Little background action there. Yeah.
I think we're ready.
All right. She's a wild one. Yeah. Anyway, no, we're working on so many things. A few things that are going to be added just in the coming days. Actually, I think I can give a. Do I still have that? No. You know what? We'll save that for next time. But we're going to add another view where it's easier to compare stats. So currently, we load a bunch of different stats like revenue, cost, profit, ad spend. We're going to make it more customizable, so you can yourself select whether you want bars or lines in your chart, and also if you want to compare with previous periods. So again, this will make it very easy to see week over week performance, month over month performance, or even day by day performance. And we're also adding a different view here. So instead of seeing a long list of products, you would instead see date ranges, either days, weeks, or months. And then you would see your data for those date periods. So sort of like an Excel sheet layout, if you will. So again, better performance visualization. I'd say that's something that will be added in the near term. We're adding continuously more ads data point. And we're also making it possible to connect more than one Seller Central account to your Fluvi account. Currently, it only supports one. But those are things that will be done in the very near term. And then we have a bunch of different features in the next few weeks and months as well.
Good stuff. Good stuff. So where should users go, and where can they maybe reach out to you if they want to ask more questions?
Yeah, so fluvi.com is of course our website. We have a contact page, which we encourage you to use. But everybody is welcome to email me directly. That would be Daniel@fluvi.com. So Daniel@fluvi.com is my personal email. Happy to chat with anybody who thinks Fluvi could be of help to them or wants to learn more about Fluvi. And of course, David, to your audience, we also offer a 20% discount. So any people that watch this video and would like to join, they get 20% off for their first 2 years of using Fluvi.
Sweet. And the discount code was DDZIM, I believe.
Exactly, your typical handle DDZIM.
Sweet. Very good to know. Yeah, then I believe we're pretty much at the end. So thanks a lot, Daniel, for coming and showing us your great tool. Honestly, I didn't think about that possibility of making that process easier with the business client communication. So yeah, thanks a lot for reaching out to me as well. And
Yep.
Any final words?
No, David, I'm just happy that we had a chance to do this video. Again, appreciate the opportunity. Happy to address your audience. And again, Fluvi is a fairly new tool, but we've just gone to market. We feel it's been mature now. It's mature enough to launch now. We've had a number of users using it for about half a year now, giving us feedback, finding bugs. And again, now we're hoping to onboard even more users and gain valuable feedback from them.
Sweet. All right, then. Thanks a lot. And thanks, everybody, for watching. We'll see each other for the next tool. And have a good day.
Thanks, everybody. Bye-bye.